What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. Today, we're doing the pre-game stream. Make sure to come back for the post-game stream after the game so we can recap it, because we are most definitely going to have to talk about the first career start of Tyler Huntley. Snoop. His Utah Utes got a massive win last night, over the Oregon Ducks. They were up 28-0 on number 3 in the country last night. I mean, Oregon was heavily overrated, but got a massive win last night. Now he's making his first career start in the NFL. Obviously, he played terrific in the preseason, had that 5-touchdown game against the Washington football team. Joshua, what are your thoughts on Tyler Huntley getting his first career start today with Lamar Jackson out with sickness?
Well, I would definitely say this. I feel like they definitely played. I'm going to say play games, but they definitely kind of lingered with the whole Lamar being sick. If you knew the guy wasn't going to really be healthy, I know we was playing it by ear. We should have just took the necessary precautions and said, you know what, sit down, get well, get healthy. Let's go ahead and put Tyler Huntley in. He's ready. He's pretty much a protege in a sense. I would only say that he reacts a little faster than Lamar for the simple fact that when Tyler Huntley's on the field, he just has a green. He has an automatic green light before he even hikes the ball. So he's thinking like 200 miles per hour. So that's the only thing I say about Tyler Huntley. I mean, I'm definitely ready to see him get his shine on and see what he do. I always said he can be a solid starter for a decent team in the NFL. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what he's going to bring to the table.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to. I was starting Cam Newton in 2 of my 3 fantasy leagues, and I was like, Cam Newton's making his start. Like, I gotta start him.
Most definitely.
I've subbed out Cam Newton for Tyler Huntley because I got full faith in him, because I just feel like this is it would be one thing if the Bears had Khalil Mack and Akeem Hicks, but because those guys are out, and Eddie Jackson, I haven't heard a lot about Eddie Jackson. I know he was questionable coming into the game, so we'll see about if he's able to play or not. But like overall, the Ravens just, I don't know. I feel like this is the type of week, and the benefit is like a lot of times when backups come in, like they don't have a lot of experience playing with the starters. The Ravens are missing a good amount of their starters. So, he's going to be playing with Rashad Bateman, who he most likely was throwing with in training camp a little bit, him being a rookie. Devin Duvernay could be out, and also Devin Duvernay is a guy that he's been throwing with because he's not on the first team offense. So could be like a bit of James Prochet, could be some Tylen Well, and like those are all the guys that he's been playing with. Now, obviously, he doesn't have the experience, I don't think, with Mark Andrews or with Sammy Watkins, but Lamar's missed some time in practice, so it's not something that he's like never played with. He's been here for over a season. Lamar has missed a fair amount of practices in that time with sicknesses and things of that nature. So, overall, I think that it's something that he's ready for. And, I feel like it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, because he's a dynamic player. And I think a lot of people watching this game are going to be surprised at who he is if he's able to actually be himself, and the Ravens don't like restrict him by any means. Like, let him do exactly what he did in the preseason. Like, that's how you got to run this game. You can't have him be out there being conservative. No, let him throw the deep ball. He doesn't have an amazing deep ball, but extend the field and then let him take off and run. Because I feel like he's a lot more like Michael Vick in that aspect, in the fact that like Lamar doesn't like to drop back, see one guy and then dip. He likes to wait, hold on to the ball, and then like try and find somebody, which is a great aspect. I mean, both can work. Tyler Huntley, if he doesn't have anybody, he's gone.
Yeah,
like, he is ready. Like,
he's not wasting no time at all. No, definitely.
Yeah. So let's see here. We got some questions. Chris Reed says, Snoop. In other words, down Jimmy Anthony Averett, which is really bad. Could be either a surprising game or a really bad game for us. Yeah, the benefit is that, like, no disrespect to the Chicago wide receivers, but their number one receiver is, this year it's been Darnell Mooney, but it's Allen Robinson is their best receiver, I think. He doesn't want to be in Chicago. They franchise tagged him, and he was like, yeah, I'm not going to play for you guys. I'm going to be bad. So, overall, I think that they're going to go out there, and I feel like Chris Westry, this is now his time. Like, we get a lot of guys that will get to step up. We could get some Prochet step up. we could get some Chris Westry step up, and obviously Tyler Huntley. But what do you think, Joshua? No Jimmy and AA.
Yeah, I was definitely about to. I was definitely about to holler out the inactives we got. So we got Hollywood, Lamar, Jimmy, Double A, Cedric, Abuye, Miles Boykins, and Brandon Williams. So let's address the corners first. I definitely love Chris Westry. He's a more physical, bigger guy, and he has that 4.3 speed. So I definitely love to see him out there get the most out there getting all those reps. I mean, hell, Thursday night he showed that he ain't scared to tackle anybody. I mean, he took the knees out of that lineman and even made him fumble the ball. Don't be surprised if we see Brandon Stevens come down and play a little bit of corner. And I don't know if they made Ardarius Washington active, but also look forward to see Geno Stone in that backfield as well. So I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting, to see how these guys come out and play. I mean, we've been hurt all this season, so literally next man up. So I'm not surprised to see one of these guys get that shine on. I just hope they take the maximum best of this opportunity that's given to them and just make the best out of it.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a good way of looking at it. And also, like, something to think about is just how do you think the Ravens are going to approach this game with Tyler Huntley in terms of score and aggressiveness? Because I think the Ravens, when they have Lamar at quarterback, their goal is to score 40 points and just run away with the game. But with Tyler Huntley, are they going to say, hey, let's control the clock, be slow, progress the ball slowly? Or are they going to say, hey, you know what, this is your shot. Let's go out there and let's do your thing. What are you thinking for that? Like, how aggressive are they going to be with Tyler?
Honestly, if I'm the Ravens organization, just because you almost had the same style of player in Tyler Huntley, I would be aggressive as hell. There's no Akeem Hicks, no Khalil Mack. I would definitely be trying to attack that Bears defense as much as possible. So you really can't stop doing what you're doing. It'd be different if it was a Trace. If it was Trace McSorley, we know what would be going on. It'd be more conservative, still trying to play to Trace's talent, which is he's more of a thrower. But at the same time, you got Tyler Huntley, almost a split image of Lamar in a sense. He just don't have the throw power as Lamar. But in regards of him being another dynamic player, he can rally his team around. I definitely feel like it will be all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, and someone that I'm worried about that's making his return, Mr. Chief brings him up, David Montgomery. He's coming back. What looked like it was a season-ending injury that he suffered early in the year. He's getting his first game back today. I'm starting him in fantasy. I'm starting a lot of people in fantasy this week from this game. So I don't know how concerned are you about this Bears run game, because they have Fields, who's a very good runner, and then they also have David Montgomery, who I think is a really underrated back coming back from injury. So what are you thinking about this run game from the Bears?
You know what? David Montgomery is a very underrated back. I was actually about to get him confused with Ty Montgomery. But same thing. He still can make things happen out of that backfield. We already know Justin Fields doesn't rely on his legs, but if he has to, he definitely can make something happen. He's more of that stay in the pocket QB, almost Steve McNairish type of style of play, just about. He relies on his arm more than he relies on his legs. And we've seen what he can do with his arm. So if he has to get out the pocket, he definitely will. But that defensive line, that front seven has to step up, period. Metabuke, Broderick Washington. I believe Khalil McKenzie is actually getting some play time today as well. And Jelly, Calais, Pernell McPhee is not playing today.
I think he was added to IR yesterday, actually.
Yeah. So he's out for like 3 weeks. Hey, next man up. Guys got to step up. Guys got to make tackles. Guys got to really get out there and really be a force. So, this is something. We see the guys that if you follow the Ravens Twitter, you see the videos. of them doing the tackling drills, shedding the block, stuff like that. All those drills, all those workouts and practice have to translate to game day. So, hopefully, I'm praying my big uglies can get out there and really put a hurting on these guys. So, shout out to my defense, man.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to watch. I think a lot of people are now going to stay away from this game to watch, which is going to be sad because I think a lot of people are going to really underestimate Tyler Huntley and his, because everyone likes to watch the Ravens because of Lamar and he's so exciting. Tyler Huntley is also very exciting to watch. So it's something that I'll bring this up. What are the odds that Tyler Huntley gets himself a job outside of Baltimore today? Like, what are the odds that he plays well enough to the point where a team is trying to trade for him in the offseason, trying to get themselves a quarterback or something? Because obviously he has the ability to go off and have a terrific game. So what do you think are the odds of him? And like, what would he need to do to find himself a starting job outside of Baltimore if this is his only game he gets to play?
Honestly, I would say it would be a 15 to 20% chance. The reason I'm saying this, I mean, you're playing against I know Chicago's record, correct me if I'm wrong, is more on the losing side. I know they're working on rebuilding and things of that nature, but Tyler Huntley would have to have like a 300-yard passing game and maybe like one rushing touchdown for like 50 yards. And I don't think this game necessarily will hold as much weight as if he came in starting against a rivalry AFC North game and came out to win and like won in 2019 Ravens fashion. So I mean, it would definitely help boost his stock, in the offseason. But say Lamar was out for next week or another game later down the road, and I feel like he would have to build up some more games and win in Tyler Huntley fashion in order to be in that type of conversation. So right now, I feel like it may be 15-20%.
This is amazing. Adit Mahmood says, with this poor quarterback class, which, yeah, it is definitely lacking, I can see another team trading for Tyler Huntley and the Ravens drafting Malik Cunningham, the stud quarterback out of Louisville, who became the first player, I think, since Lamar to have a 200 game, I think, in Power 5 football. So yeah. I would love that. Cunningham is fun to watch.
You know what? It's funny that we bring up Malik Cunningham. I'm gonna say this: if we don't sign Lamar back, best believe they're going to get Malik Cunningham. And I'm talking about the Ravens.
Oh yeah, he is electric.
Me personally, I like Matt Carroll though. I'm just saying.
Let's see here. So Axel says Huntley not experienced enough to run the no huddle. Regardless, it is all more important for Greg Roman to call a good game. Yeah, this is not going to be a game where, like, Lamar has the opportunity to go out there and say, like, no, we're not going to do that. Tyler Huntley has to call the plays that Greg Roman calls. So if Greg Roman comes out with a good game plan, and the benefit is Tyler Huntley is very similar to Lamar, so you can run the Ravens game plan with Tyler Huntley instead of Lamar. And so I feel like it'll be decent. I'm not expecting a great game plan, but if it's a decent game plan, I think that the Ravens can absolutely have a good offensive showing, put up, 25, 28 points with a good game plan. Now, if it's a great game plan, they could put up a lot more than that. If it's a really bad game plan, they could get shut out because Lamar Jackson, when the Ravens have a bad game plan, he's able to be Lamar Jackson and carry the Ravens to 14, maybe 20 points. I don't know how confident I am in Tyler Huntley with a horrible game plan week for him to ball out. But I don't know. What do you think? How important is Greg Roman in this game? Is he more important or is it Tyler Huntley?
Well, hell, we did talk about this before we got on live. I said this really falls down on the coordinators, honestly, because this season Lamar has been Lamar making the magic work. So now, I know a lot of people say, hey, well, G-Ro got us to this, got us to that. but nobody wants to accept the fact that Lamar has outgrown an offensive coordinator. So we'll definitely see how the game plan with our backup QB can get us a win today. Now, if it doesn't get us a win, if it's still piss poor play calling and things of that nature, you know, fans are going to have to come to the reality that, it's probably time. It's really getting to that time where we have to say, you know what, we thank you for your service, but but if we're going to become Super Bowl contenders, real Super Bowl contenders, then we have to move forward and find someone that best suits the growth and elevation in our franchise QB. So it definitely 100% comes down on this the way this game gets called today.
Yeah, and I see people like Brock says my confidence in Giro is zero.
I
Zero
don't
confidence. Oh yeah, no blame for anybody with no confidence in Greg Roman. Daryl Smith says this is the perfect time for anyone on offense or defense to show up and show us what they have. I completely agree. I think this is a big opportunity for a lot of players. Most particularly, I would say Devin Duvernay if he's able to play, but it could be James Prochet. He's active. All right, so then
he suited up. Tyler suited up. James Prochet suited up. Yeah, those guys are playing.
This is a big opportunity for Dev. Obviously, Tyler, Chris Westry. Let's see who else is not normally a starter and could be playing today.
I would say JP too, honestly, more because of all the work he put in all season. That he has gotten in, he's made the best of it. But seeing his play decline because Sammy Watkins is back is like it's almost a Tyshawn Williams situation. You've done all this work in the preseason, you've done all this work in the mini camps and stuff like that. Next thing you know, they bring a guy in, or someone comes off injury. Now you get put to the back seat. JP2 has a more optimistic spirit, in my opinion. So and he's more understanding of waiting and knowing his time is going to come. But I feel like this will be a game for JP2 to really shine, and he possibly get traded. He possibly get traded for another pick or something like that in the offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, him being the wide receiver 4 this week is definitely going to give him a big opportunity to step into what we've seen Devin do in the last couple of weeks, as like that, hey, third down situation, receiver comes in, hit him over the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Tyler, the benefit is Tyler has the chemistry with Devin and James. So that's huge. Is like, who does he feel comfortable throwing the ball to? And it's going to be those guys. And Mr. Chief says, heard it's super windy today as well. Yeah, this is in the Windy City. This is in Chicago. Tucker may not be able to save us this game. If it's super windy, that's going to make it difficult to throw the football, which is the benefit of having 2 very mobile quarterbacks in this game. Yeah. That is going to play a huge factor, because if you guys remember, the last time Tyler Huntley played in a game that he needed to play in, it was in the game against the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. That was a big time game, and it was very, very windy that day, and a lot of people forget about that. None of the quarterbacks were hitting any deep balls or anything like that, so it's going to be something that the Ravens are going to have to keep an eye on, but I feel like they have the skill set to be able to maneuver around that, because also, like, Tyler Huntley, he played at Utah can get pretty windy. So that is a benefit. Like, he has some experience playing in the wind and things like that. So I don't know. What do you think about the wind?
They definitely said the weather was supposed to be like a little nasty. It was also a chance of rain as well. Definitely, wind can play a big factor, and also happy birthday to the GOAT, Automatic Tuck. As well. So I definitely hope we can just fight through the adversity. I mean, how we already got enough adversity as it is with injuries and stuff like that. So I mean, whether it's just another adversity that we're going to have to push through and get past. So I mean, these guys know what to do.
Absolutely. And Axel says Ben Cleveland will be on the field. That's going to be fun. Hopefully he's actually going to get a start. We'll see. Hopefully he's able to get out there, but oh no. Yitzhak says last time we played with our backup quarterback, he broke his knee. Yeah. And then Trace McSorley came in, saved the day. Almost. Kind of. That's a big place. But yeah, overall, I'm excited to just see what he has because it's something where Tyler Huntley, this is his opportunity in the NFL. He's not going to get a better chance than this because a lot of times when you have a star quarter like Lamar's not leaving, like the Ravens want to keep Lamar. So when you're behind a Patrick Mahomes, when you're behind a Tom Brady, a Lamar Jackson, typically if you're going to get to play, it's either going to be in a blowout. You're winning by 35 points. It's the fourth quarter. You step in. That doesn't mean anything. Or it's week 17 now. It would be week 18. Your team's already clinched the spot they want, and they start you in a meaningless game. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. That doesn't matter. This is a game that matters. And for a backup to play in a game that matters, it means so much more for them and so much more for the rest of their career because it's got pressure on it. The Ravens need to win this game. They play in prime time against the the Cleveland Browns next week. They want to get off to a good start after a terrible performance last week on Thursday Night Football. So, this is a big time week for them. And Nick says, am I the only one who thinks Huntley will be playing a very good game?
I don't think so. I definitely. I mean, we know what we have in Huntley. Honestly, I mean, Snoop is a baller. Snoop is a baller. He's a competitor. Whether Lamar's on the sideline or in the locker room, he's gonna be rooting for him the hardest. So it's good to have that camaraderie in the locker room because I mean everybody wants to see everyone win. That's the good thing that's about this team. I mean, unfortunately, it couldn't be like that with Joe Flacco. But hey, it's understanding. He's been starting for all those years. He brought Baltimore a Super Bowl. Next thing you know, you bring in the young gun, and now he's losing his job. To the young gun. So I understand it from that point as well. I mean that things happen, but I definitely feel like what Huntley and what he brings to the table. Like I said before, he can be a solid starter for a decent team in this league, and a lot of backup QBs this year has been winning games for teams. So I mean, look at
Mike White.
There we go. That's the one. That's the one that's really going out. But I mean, we're definitely hoping for Joe Flacco to have a great game against Miami. Go Jets today.
Oh yeah. Always got to root for the Jets.
Yeah, but I mean, I definitely feel like I feel like he's definitely going to show out. We know what he can do. We know he can throw the ball. We know he can run. And I mean, he also gives that element of surprise. So yeah, I definitely feel like he's going to have a great game.
Yeah, and I see Axel put the weather, so it's 50 degrees, 18-mile-an-hour wind, and it's drizzling. That's some interesting football weather. And I see who said this? Okay, I gotta find this. Let's see here. Axel said, I want to see the 2018 playbook, rookie Lamar. Now that was a heavy Lamar rush the football year. That was pistol, read option. That was the whole thing. There was no, hey, let's throw the ball deep. It was, if we're throwing the football, don't let Lamar throw the ball more than 10 yards because the Ravens had pretty much zero faith in him. But they had a ton of faith in his legs and it worked out. I don't know. What do you think about that? Should they run that type of game, or should it be a game like they would just call if it was Lamar Jackson this year and take deep shots, roll him out of the pocket, throw those corner routes? Like, which way do you think that they should go with Tyler Huntley?
Because of the running backs we have, and then we have Trace McSorley as the backup. I don't want it to be a heavy run day. I mean, it's definitely glad. I'm definitely glad for us to have Nick Bull back. So put him with Patrick Ricard. Definitely expect to see him. And I don't see Latavius Murray starting. I hope he doesn't. I hope they keep the momentum going with Devontae Freeman. But if he does, then so be it. But I definitely feel like it will be like a regular game. We know that Tyler Huntley can throw outside the numbers. We know he can make those quick decisions. Do Only time I want him to make that deep ball is if someone's actually open and not overthrow the guy. But outside of that, I feel like it should just be a regular call play game.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting because the Ravens actually have Pat McCarry returning. Nick Boyle's coming in.
Okay.
Latavius like that. I feel like it's going to help a lot in the run game. We get probably our best tackle this year has been McCarry, and then also Nick Boyle, the man that typically lines up to the right of the right tackle. I don't know. I feel like that's really going to help this run game. The Ravens can definitely utilize that. They haven't had Nick Boyle all year, and so he's going to show off how important he is to this team. So I don't know. Let's get into kind of some like overall, not like full predictions, but like in terms of like the split between the rushing and who's going to get the ball. I see Benjamin says Freeman for 100. How much are they going to run the ball with the running backs and the quarterback today?
Honestly, I feel like they may lean on the running backs a little bit more today. I feel like who's is Tyshawn? I don't think Tyshawn is active. I don't know who is our third running back. That's a good question. But I definitely feel like Devontae Freeman, and Latavius Murray will have between 15 and 20 carries apiece, possibly. And also, we haven't talked about it yet, but someone else will be getting a lot of play time today because Hollywood is out. And that is, our first round pick, Rashad Bateman. We do have to keep in mind that he is, he can move the chains. He can be a deep threat. He can be your short, your intermediate threat. And I feel like he actually is going to have a breakout game today outside of, the rushing. I feel like we still want to, play our game because we have, Rashad Bateman. I know a lot of people say, had their ups and downs about Sammy Watkins. I understand that. Totally respect it. Totally get it. But Sammy, when he can make a play, he will make a play. But, I definitely feel like, this will be a big game for Rashad Bateman.
No, yeah, Rashad Bateman definitely got to talk about because this is his chance. He gets to be wide receiver 1. Mm-hmm. And we get to see exactly what he's going to be able to do as wide receiver 1. And I think it's going to be whatever he wants. I mean, I saw a chart, I think it was yesterday, showing like his success in all of the routes. And they're like all above 70% success rate. Like all of them, except for screens, because he's yet to run a screen. But that's huge. Like looking at what they're going to be able to do, he is a route runner. Like that is where he's a route runner and he's a big catch maker. I mean, he is a more athletic Anquan Bolton. Like that is what like he has been for the Ravens this year is that Super Bowl level Anquan Bolton. Like we see even that game against Miami, like there's plays where it's just like, oh, it's thrown over against Minnesota as well. Like difficult throws. And he's just reaching out with one hand and he's snagging it. He's moving the chains. And then when it's a good throw and, he's running his route normally, he's catching it in stride and taking it up the field.
Yeah.
I saw a play, and this was against Miami, where he ran that, like, I don't know, the over-the-shoulder throw with Lamar. And it was a play where he's stepping into the corner, and then he's shifting his body, and then he's reaching out with his arms because he is keeping himself in between the ball and the defender at all times, and he's making sure that it's like that. I think a good comparison play, more exaggerated, would be like the DeAndre Hopkins play that he made. I can't remember who it was going against. Oh, it was against Eric Stokes on the Packers, where he goes out there and he said, and he slows down. Stokes starts playing it, and then Hopkins goes, "Oh, I lied. The ball's not here yet." And he steps outside and he has an easy reception because of his route running. And that's the type of thing Bateman can do. And thank you so much, TY Exclusive, for the super chat. Didn't put a message, but thank you so much. Appreciate you. But I don't know. I think this is going to be huge for him to get that opportunity as that wide receiver 1.
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, you have Dev, you have JP2, you got Sammy Watkins, you got Rashad. I mean, you still got Mark Andrews. So it's the ball still can get distributed a lot, even though we're working with our second string QB. But I mean, I don't look at Snoop as just our second string. Yeah, he's our second string on the depth chart, but that's Snoop Ace. He's one of those guys like I'm talented. He's right there at the cusp of being just about talented as a starting QB. He just took this opportunity and chance because not to me was given to him. Now he makes the best of it. He shows what he can do. So I mean, this definitely it's definitely going to be exciting. Me personally, I know Ravens fans may not like it, but I'm kind of ready for the season to be over. I want us to get in the high team for a draft pick, and sign our franchise QB to a big contract and move forward and let some guys go. That's where I'm at with the season right now. But I'm still going to support my team. Don't get me wrong, y'all. But
yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. And Benjamin asked, like, is there worried about the DBs with Anthony Averett and Jimmy Smith out? I don't think so. Like, I feel like it's just going because the receivers in Chicago are nothing. Like, if we were going up against a team that had, a lot of guys, I mean, they do have Allen Robinson, they do have Darnell Mooney, but I don't know. I feel like Chris Westry can do that job. I feel like he can definitely do his job right there, and Tavon in the slot can also do that. So I'm not overly worried, but it's not something that I'm like fully confident in. Like, the secondary is going to be able to lock down, but I just think like the defense will be able to do enough. I feel like this is a game that relies more on the front seven because you just have to get after Tyler Hunt. Wow, I'm mixing up these quarterbacks. You have to get after Justin Fields more than anything else in this game. So how does the blitz come? How does Adafe play? How does Justin Houston play? And Patrick Queen. I think Patrick Queen could be a big factor in this game.
No, I definitely agree with that as well. I mean, we got to think about it as well. Jimmy Smith snaps has been more limited, and when he is out there, he's playing more of a safety role, for his health, which is understandable. Anthony Averett, he's definitely been showing up. I'll give it to him. He's had his games where guys get the best of him, and then next thing turn around, he's playing games where hey. I know you're gonna pick on me, but I'm gonna play to the best of my ability. Yeah, y'all got the 6'3" wide receiver, lined up against me. All right, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do against the 6'3" wide receiver. I mean, we talked about him, his ball skills and breaking up the passes. He started showing that he can, break the passes up. He can, make the tackles. So I definitely give him that. And thank you for letting us know that, Lloyd. Allen Robinson is out, so I'm not going to say it's going to be a lax day for the secondary, but Marlon Humphrey should not be overworked today.
Yeah.
It should be a more relaxed game for him where he doesn't have to be all over the field. He can play a decent game. He can play his style of ball, maybe even see, the fruit punch. We haven't seen that in a long time, so, I definitely feel like the secondary will come out and show out. Chris Westry, we see what he can do. We see what he can bring to the table. I'm interested to see how they move Brandon Stevens around today and Geno Stone. Whether they're going to bring, Brandon Stevens down to play a little bit of corner and move Geno Stone to that free safety position, or just see how they do the package. But that front seven definitely has to show out. I want to see some 4-3 fronts. I want to see our guys actually getting up the field and showing that they can really, create that rush without all the exotic stuff and things of that nature.
Definitely. And, Benjamin, I'm going to agree. I love Westry. I think Westry can be really good. So, I don't disagree with this. Westry being out on the field because it's like he tackles.
Yeah.
Like that's something that I really like from him. Like Anthony Averett is not a great tackler. So like Westry, like he got beat over the middle against Miami on like a 3rd and 8, gets beat on a slant route, tackled him before the first down. Like the guy catches it after about 6 yards and he instantly wraps him up and brings him down before the first down. None of the other Ravens corners have been doing that this year. They've all been, they're getting dragged over the first down marker. They're getting pushed to the side. They're missing the tackles. I think that's something that's huge, is just being able to get those guys down quickly. And I see Ty Exclusive says, do you think that Mark Andrews can go over 1,000 yards this season? I'm going to see what he's at right now, but
he's like at 5. I want to say like 530 almost.
Yeah. Let's see.
Him and Marquise are like at the same amount almost.
Mark Andrews at 623.
Ooh. Yeah.
So
it's a lot of hell yeah.
Yeah, he's played in 9 games. 623. He's definitely on pace, so I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely see, Mark Andrews and Marquise going to the Pro Bowl actually this year. So those guys have been balling out. I love what they've been doing. I love how they've been contributing. So, this game, I feel like it'll definitely be a more Mark Andrews, Rashad Bateman, Devontae Freeman style of game, for those guys to really show out and really get it in.
Oh, yeah. And let's see here. We need to activate our Darius, man. Brandon Stevens is not the answer, sorry to say. Yeah, I think Brandon Stevens is tough just because he's so young. But I don't know. There's probably a reason why our Darius hasn't been getting as much play time. Like, maybe the Ravens are just not as confident in him as a lot of Ravens fans expect. Remember, he was a projected 4th-round pick, but his size is definitely the reason as to why he fell. But, he's gotten some special teams play. It's just about, like, maybe schematically, like, they're just waiting. Like, if Tavon gets hurt, that's when they'll start really using Ardarius. But I don't know. I don't know why they're not using him as much as I think a lot of us expected him to be used.
Yeah, I mean, we actually talked about that Wednesday, but Ardarius Washington being 5'8", me personally, I don't look at the height thing as an issue. If the guy can go out there and ball, if he can go out there and play, and hey, by all means, let's get him out there. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he can bring to the table. Buda Baker, 5'10", Bob Sanders, I want to say around that 5'10", 5'11",
5'9".
Oh, see, there we go. So, I mean, and even Earl Thomas was one of the shorter guys in the Legion of Boom. So, I mean, you really can't play that height thing as an issue, but how some people are in the NFL in regards to coaches and GMs. They look at those little things versus how that guy actually plays. Now, granted, Brandon Stevens, he doesn't mind getting dirty. He will make his body available for a tackle, but he definitely has to continue learning how to grow as a coverage style of safety, and making those picks and things of that nature. So we just got to see how these guys blossom as time goes, man.
Yeah, and Spooky, is this game an automatic L? Definitely not. The Ravens are still favored in this game. Ravens are still a 1-point favorite in this game. But I don't. Is a loss at the end of the season? No, but it's going to make it very difficult because I got to pull up the schedule for you guys because after this week, this is the stretch that we all talked about when the Ravens schedule was released as
right.
This is the money stretch for them to have to ball out. And I got to pull up the schedule right here. All right, I got it. So they go after the Bears, they go Browns, Steelers, Browns, Packers, Bengals, Rams, Steelers. That's tough. That is an incredibly difficult schedule. That may be the most difficult schedule to finish out the year in the NFL. So, like, it's not over if they lose it, but it's going to make it a lot harder because if you look at, who the other teams play this week, the Browns play the Lions. They're likely going to be 6-5 after this week. The Bengals are playing the Raiders. They could very well win that game. And then the Steelers playing in prime time against the Chargers. And Big Ben is back, but I believe T.J. Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick are out for that game. So it's very close right now. Ravens got to make sure that they are positioned well going into this stretch, because the stretch is very, very tough.
It's definitely a make it or break. It's definitely a make it or break it second half. And we've been talking about that. We talked about that many times. The first half of the season, it was okay. But after we came back from the bye, the meat and bones was in the second half. I mean, hell, just to face, our AFC North rivals, the way we're going to be facing them, then you throw in the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Matthew Stafford, yes, he played like Jared Goff in his last game. We know, with the interceptions and things like that. But still, they do have Odell Beckham. They do have Vaughn. They still have Aaron Donald, and they still have Jalen Ramsey. So there's a lot of things you have to play in it. And the Ravens have to, every time they come out, it doesn't matter who their opponent is. They have to play Ravens' way. And they can't play down to the competition. They just had to play Ravens ball, really come out the gates showing out, not having the slow starts, not having so many miscues, not missing the tackles, things of that nature. If we want to win out and make it to the playoffs, we damn near had to have perfect games from today and this on out almost. I mean, yeah, if we take an L today, it won't hurt us. It won't hurt us as bad, but at the same time, being a wild card team, going to the playoffs, it either you can ride the momentum and keep on winning out, or you can be sitting pretty. And I think this team may need a break, so they might need to win everything out. So
yeah. To answer this, if the Ravens go 5-1, and even if, let's say the Ravens go 5-2, if they lose this game, I'm assuming this is assuming. The Ravens are still making the playoffs. Right now, the third wild card spot is a 4-loss team. So, that means that if the Ravens lose 2 more games, they would finish as a 5-loss team. So, unless the Chargers are winning out, who the Ravens hold the tiebreaker over, the Ravens don't have the tiebreaker over them, but the Raiders still have to play the Chiefs a couple of times, or they have to play them once, I believe. They still have to play, if they lose out, the Colts are at 5 losses already, so the Ravens would be tied with the Colts. If the Colts were to win out, Ravens have the tiebreaker over that. So if they go 5-1, 5-2, it's over. But Spooky says, I mean that we started 5-1. I think so. If we miss the playoffs after starting 5-1, it's not about. It's about whether or not if Harbaugh fires the offensive coordinator or not. If he fires Giro, and I don't think he has to fire Wink, but if he does fire him, I don't think that hurts. That's the thing that matters in this, is Harbaugh fired. Because if he's not making changes, Insanity's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. If he keeps doing the same thing, he's going to get fired. But if he tries to make some changes, then I think he'll be able to keep his job.
Yeah, I mean, it really does falls down, on all season, adjustments and things of that nature. But yeah, I definitely say with how this season been going, and with Lamar loving them and everything like that. I mean, I think it was this week or last week, say, hey, guys love to play for John, and I'm pretty sure they do. But at the same time, we needed more X's and O's guys on this AFC North team. We really do.
Absolutely. And Heat Talk says this week is for everyone to get healthy. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Ravens got to make sure that they get all their guys back. Let Hollywood rest. Let Lamar rest. Get healthy, and then hit that stretch as hard as you can, because it's going to be really tough, and there's some really tough games. But
and the only reason they're tough is because we make them tough. I feel like we can literally easily win out if the front seven was better. If we actually generated a pass rush without doing all the stunts and exotic plays and things of that nature, things could be so much different. But because secondary is not playing the best playing the best of best. And then on top of that, the front seven, we know they've been struggling, but now you have both the front seven and secondary struggling. It doesn't make it better for us. And then offense, you never know what you're going to get because we're playing with these running backs. Sometimes Lamar is waiting too long, and then we have a poor offensive line right now, a poor man's offensive line. So, yeah, we definitely need this week for everybody to get healthy as much as possible, so we definitely can win out and make a playoff run. Me, I'm still optimistic, but at the same time, he's like, if we don't make it, I won't be mad. Let's look towards the off season, see how we can rebuild and really build this team, to be a real championship contender. Because we have some players on the team that's taking up money and taking up space right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So let's see here. Oh, Julian, thank you so much. Says, McCon and Joshua, just want to let you know that you're both important to me and the rest of the TTV family. Hope y'all are well outside the channel. Thanks for both of us. But no, appreciate it so much, Julian. Shout out to all you guys in the stream, all the viewers and everything like that. No, that means a lot. Let's see here. But I think it's time to get into some predictions for this game, the bold predictions, the game predictions. What are you thinking? Let's go offense, Joshua, first. What do you predict for this game?
I'm gonna give it Devontae Freeman 2 touchdowns with 120 yards.
Okay.
We need a running back. We need a running back this season with over 100 yards in a game.
I think we'll have a guy with 100 yards rushing, but unfortunately, it won't be a running back. We got Tyler Huntley, 100 yards.
Okay.
3 touchdowns. 2 to Bateman.
Oh, I like that. Okay, I'll take
and
that.
Bateman 100 yards.
Okay, I'll take that. I like that.
Absolutely. So I see Benjamin says Justin Tucker for 3 field goals. I hope not. I need some touchdowns, man. I'm starting this whole Ravens team in fantasy. I need some touchdowns.
We in Soldier Field. We're 0-3 against the Bears. We need a win. We can't win on field goals.
Quick Stride says Bateman for 100. I think this is going to be a huge game for Bateman. I don't know. Like, this could be a game where he goes out there and puts up 10 receptions, 12 receptions. Like,
he could. It's like almost since he's got back, it's been like a prelude. Like I don't know, like almost like it's almost like watching a prelude to like a series, like a Harry Potter series or a Lord of the Rings series. Almost, it's like, yo, we're just waiting for that. We're waiting for that, that big moment type situation. Just go ahead and make it happen, So we're definitely waiting for it. I think we know Rashad wanted bad, and I think Rashad knows us as the Ravens flop want it as bad as him. So I definitely feel like this will be the game he will make it happen.
Yeah, and before we get into defensive predictions, I want to just read this tweet that I just saw from Ted Nguyen. It says, Tyler Huntley got a look from the Ravens because of a recommendation from Lamar Jackson and quickly surpassed longtime number 2 Trace McSorley, and today he's starting. He's got some traits. Interesting to see what he does. Like that I just want to point out, just like Lamar got Tyler Huntley his shot. And that's what we love to see. Like the Ravens listening to Lamar and that stuff. Like Lamar's done that a couple of times. Lamar likes Hollywood. He knows Hollywood. He wanted Hollywood. The Ravens draft Hollywood. I can't remember the name of Dante Silencio. That was his name. Yeah. Lamar's high school wide receiver. I got a shot at the practice squad. Unfortunately, it didn't work out with him. But like Lamar, knows his guys and he wants to get his guys to have success. But the Ravens also recognize hey, if they're not good enough, they won't make it. But Tyler Huntley was good enough. So really cool to see him going. I see Benjamin says, Sam Cook keeping his completion streak going. He thinks the fake punt pass or the fake field goal pass could be in play this week. I would not be surprised.
Benjamin, listen, I like what you're saying, but right now we don't need one of those heart attack, take a chance type of games. We just need to go out there and win, man. So, hey, if we can keep Sam Cook on the sideline, I'm all for it. So, I'm not taking no chances right now.
Oh yeah. Now let's look at the defensive side of the ball. Shamil says Brandon Stevens interception. What do you think of Joshua? Bold prediction for the defense.
So actually, Shamil, I'm gonna double up on that. I see Brandon Stevens getting an interception taken to the house, and also Marlon Humphrey going back to fruit punch, getting us one of those fruit punches today. So yeah, I definitely see an interception out of Brandon Stevens and a fruit punch. You know, we missed it. I mean, what are we, 29th in the league in turnovers right now? Takeaways, whatever they want to call it. So yeah, we need a bolster from the defense today for sure.
I think this is going to be the best game of his career.
Talk to me.
I'm talking about Odafe Owe.
Okay.
He's already had some big games.
Yes, sir.
But I think he may be a little bit upset with them Ohio State guys. Unfortunately, Ohio State's been playing pretty darn well in the Big Ten this year.
Most definitely.
Just had one of the most dominant top 10 game performances I've ever seen between two top 10 players. I mean, oh man, that was amazing. But like, I think that he's going to get out there. I think he'll get a couple sacks. I think he could force a fumble.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he could make some plays where Justin Fields is rolling out and he chases him down. Even if he gets, Fields gets 3-4 yards, it's short of the first down. And like those type of plays where it's not going to wow you or anything like that, but it's just going to be, he made the play that needed to be made. Because in his big games, it's like, oh yeah, he had some great moments, but they weren't like a full game of just like, oh, he was everywhere all game long. It's like, oh, he showed up at that spot. I think this is a game where he shows up first quarter through fourth quarter, and hopefully not overtime because I'm tired of them overtime games. But
yeah,
and maybe picks up a fumble, and then turns on that speed. But
take it to the house.
Maybe he comes around the edge like a Von Miller, hits that arm while it's back, ball goes backwards. He's still running, picks it up off the ground, takes it back. I just want to see him at full sprint. Like, that's all I want to see. Like, I don't really care if he scores. I want to see him pick up a fumble or get an interception at, like, the Ravens 20 and just see people try and catch him, because I would love to watch the replay of him just booking it. And we see wide receiver like Justin Fields is trying to chase him down, and it's like they're not catching him.
That's almost like watching Terry Crews chasing down Cat Williams in Friday at the Next. Oh man,
Shamil's too accurate with this one.
Wow, Shamil. Why? Don't say that.
14 missed tackles on what? One play?
Those,
one play?
You might get half of those in the game, but
Justin Houston, 2 sacks, 3 batted balls from Calais. That could happen.
Yeah.
And then Shamil also said, ooh, like Charles Tillman at Soldier Field, peanut punch returns. That would be sick. Let's see here. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty good. Game's going to start in just a couple of minutes. So anybody else have any final predictions before we wrap up the stream? If not, make sure to come to the post-game stream after the game ends. We will get to hopefully celebrate the terrific performance of Snoop. But all right, guys. Thank y'all for coming in. We'll see all of you again in a couple of hours. Hopefully smiling. Hopefully having a good time, but we'll see.
All right, y'all. Have a good one now.